Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hole Park in Kent for round 6 of the National Horseboarding Championships. And this is actually the day 1 roundup of the championships, but it is actually going on day 2 because we lost the commentator after the first round yesterday.
Well, that's not exactly what happened at all. We won't go into it any more than that, but that's not what happened, was it?
So anyway, the delays unfortunately have stopped you getting your information on time as you are expecting on the Saturday afternoon, and we apologise for that. Any letters of complaint can go to Rich Hall, Warwickshire Place, Warwickshire Road, number 1.
Warwick.
So, getting on to the racing, yesterday was quite an interesting...
It was very interesting, and the real reason why we didn't do the roundup in the afternoon is because the racing was actually abandoned in the afternoon session, so it made for a very, very interesting day, and the results, and this whole weekend is going to be seismic in the season, really, isn't it?
It's opened up the whole championship as to what can happen. So the elites raced first, but we're going to talk about the novice. We only had the 2 horses in that class, and that was Chase Me Charlie and 50 Shades of Bay. And yesterday, I did kind of say, 50 Shades of Bay got this all the way down. But as it happened, the first time that the horses went out, Chase Me Charlie went round at a 71.69 seconds, and 50 Shades of Bay, the horse obviously looking a little bit hyperactive, based on it being an ex-race horse. It's come to a show environment, he's thinking he's going to be getting on a track, and obviously he was trying to be kept a lot calmer, so he was all quite on his toes.
He was.
And he didn't actually complete the first run, and got a yellow card on his first run, and it's very rare that a horse or team would get yellow carded on their very first run, but the ref felt that it was sufficiently risky enough of a release that it was worth the yellow card straight away.
Did some fantastic dressage on the way out of the arena, really nice.
Some great half pass and full pass actually as we were exiting. Nice. But the rider did really well. Kirsten did really well in keeping the horse calm and under control, and it is part of how these new teams start. Only a few months ago we were talking about Chase Me Charlie in exactly the same way.
Exactly that.
They had to learn forward, but so 50 Shades of Bay improved as the day went on. Chase Me Charlie looked very positive. After their first run, they were keen. The horse rider was getting forward. They snapped their leash on the second run, which was because the horse rider got too far forward in a position she's not normally known for racing in, because she normally sits back a bit more, but she was getting a bit into it, getting a bit keen, and she pulled the split pin, the dead man's handle, by accident, and then that broke the pin. But then her next 2 races she improved by a second, and then her final race was 65.17. But then 50 Shades of Bay, Rich, just improved as they went on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They did manage to start putting the runs together, and they had a fastest time of 60.38. So as it stands in the Equine America Novice Cup, 50 Shades of Bay are in first place, and Chase Me Charlie are 4.79 seconds behind them. So it's close.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to get on the averages. The track's been messed up. It probably won't change, but given what happened in the elite, if something similar like that happens in the elite, then anything can happen.
Yep.
So absolutely anything can happen. So then we go to the intermediate, and in the intermediate we only had the 3 teams enter, which was Bruises Easily, Top and Tails, Pony Express, and yesterday we said that's where the fight's going to be, Bruises Easily, Top and Tails, not to rule Pony Express out of it. Now, Bruises Easily went out first off, did an 80-second time around the large arena, and looked very conservative in their approach.
Yep.
Top and Tails didn't complete the run. I wasn't sure, I can't remember exactly what happened. The same thing that happened to everybody else, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, anything to do in that middle section of the course was just an absolute nightmare. We saw crash after crash after crash.
And then Pony Express went out, started the run absolutely on fire. Little Mickey there went through 20 miles an hour, I believe.
He's hammering
into that first turn. Really going, and for that little pony, I think the whole audience kind of stood back and was like, "What's going on here?" Because he really did fly down that arena. But then before the end of the course, he pulled up short. Wasn't happy, wasn't comfortable with something, and the team took the choice to withdraw from that class. So then it was down to Bruises Easily and Top and Tails. The next run, they came out, Bruisers Easily improved their time by
11 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, 11 seconds. As commanding over what was going on in the arena. And then Top and Tails came out and beat their previous time with by a second before Bruisers Easily came back out and beat their time by another second, give or take, or half a second. So these two were going out, but then Top and Tails, we expected Top and Tails to come back out and do exactly the same thing that that Bruisers Easily had just done. But just as they were coming off the weave, there was a funny action in the pony, and the horse rider seemed to bop over to the side slightly, and then
work really hard to stay up in the saddle.
But then the horse kind of bopped underneath her again, almost like it caught her. And then after that, all the gas was gone out of the pony. The gas was like, no, the pony wasn't very happy. So they then withdrew as well, and because it was coming to the end of that class anyway, but they withdrew as well. And they checked the pony overnight. Spoke to him about this morning. Horse seems absolutely fine now. It was just something that caused him to step off the gas and actually increase their time by over 10 seconds. So at the end of that heat, in first place was Bruisers Easily with 67.17.
And then it's only, 0.06 of a second behind is Top and Tails with 68.31. So I mean that is so close, and it's all to play for in the intermediate today. They're really going to have to work so hard, both those teams. And it was brilliant yesterday. It was probably one of the most exciting parts of the whole day of racing. That they just came out time after time and just got faster and faster around the course. And like you say, it was just disappointing with the very final run from Top and Tails that it wasn't that clinching run, you know. It was just it was great entertainment, crowd loving that. So we'll be very excited to see how those two go today.
Now, as the elites had already raced, the intermediates and novices then went out and raced for the second heat. The elites and novices were given, the intermediates and the novices were given the option of a fourth race, so they could have the fourth run at that point because we didn't have so many teams in that class, or they could save that fourth run for the afternoon if they chose to. But they saw a couple of black clouds coming and they thought, what we'll do is we'll let this rain pass and then we'll race in the afternoon. However, those clouds were quite torrential in what they brought with them, including an awful lot of hail, which you don't often see at this time of year.
No, it's interesting.
After the downpour, we were asked to go and view the arena. We viewed the arena, and then we asked the organiser what they wanted us to do, because we could have raced on it and it would have been great entertainment. I really would have enjoyed to see it, but
there wouldn't be an arena left today, would there? The arena would have been gone. It was underwater. Anyone going in there would have just churned it up. So it was their decision in the end to say, save it for tomorrow and come out and do some more racing, which I think was probably the right decision at the end of the day.
However, so of course, when we go back to the teams and we announce this, half of the teams were very happy and half of the teams were really not happy, because nearly half of the teams didn't actually put a time down in the morning heat. There were so many crashes. We know this course is the most challenging. We've seen it before. We saw it last year, but the gradual. Last year we had a very steep dip between the second and first cone on the weave. This year it's a very gradual dip, so it caused a lot more technical problems in the board rider catching up with the horse, getting slack in the rope, not being able to rely on the rope to help turn the board between the cones, and they just came out of place. Dead Pigeons came out, didn't score a run in the first heat, didn't in the first race. Sudden Impact didn't score a race, and bearing in mind they were doing course B. So all these teams were doing is going down the arena, around, up to the top, halfway down the centre line, crash.
Yeah.
Next one. So all of about 15 seconds in the arena, 15 to 20 seconds.
We were moving through the rotation pretty
quickly. So the first three go out, bum, 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 crash. The first one to get round was limited edition. I have got the yellow card here. I think they had a 10-second miss penalty on the weave, but that was almost a tactic. It was like, look, just take the miss and get through it. Then Chill Winston went round at speed, 79 seconds, blitzed it. Then Drag Act, 86 seconds, really good run from them. Consider It Done, 91 seconds, 83. Then Pocket Rocket, UK Border Force, did not complete. We then go to the second rotation of races. In the second rotation of races, Limited Edition were the only team to complete, and Despicable Minions didn't complete but also got a yellow card. In the third rotation of races, so bearing in mind there's 9 races in each rotation, we've completed 4 in the first, 1 in the second rotation, and 2 in the third rotation.
People were thinking this sport was phenomenally difficult yesterday. Just staying on the board looked, I think the public were getting a little bit confused.
That's 7 races out of 27 runs, which we're kind of talking about at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
do you know what
absolutely.
I mean? When we were talking about that.
Yeah.
And of course then, so the teams that didn't finish a race were Dead Pigeons. Dead Pigeons did not finish a race. Which is something you never hear. Pocket Rocket didn't finish a race. Okay, not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
UK Border Force didn't finish a race, and they also had quite a dramatic fall, but everybody's okay after that. So we're looking at 4 that didn't complete. Oh, Despicable Minions didn't complete as well, which means that the leaderboard is.
It's unrecognisable.
It's different, and this is what we like about this game. So all those that didn't complete, they're basically going from 6th to 9th, and they haven't worked out what they're going to do. Those that did complete, from 5th position is Limited Edition with 93.67.
Yeah, and just above them, Consider It Done, 91.83.
That's 4th place. And what we're going to tell you in a moment is what the results would be if the scoreboard doesn't change. And Consider It Done is very interesting. In 3rd place, Sudden Impact with 88.53. And actually, that's not an impossibility. Consider It Done are only 3 seconds behind Sudden Impact. Consider It Done love the wet. The course is still quite wet.
So we'll have to see what Sudden Impact
can do.
So
So
they
could
today.
maybe be thinking about a 3rd place.
Yeah, absolutely. Drag Act is sitting in 2nd, 86.24, 2 seconds faster than Sudden Impact. So they had a much better day actually yesterday than we've seen in the morning sessions of the previous competition. So yeah, they are right in there this time and could be looking to close that gap in the overall championships.
Yep, and in 1st place is Chill Winston with 76.65, commanding, dominating, conquering that class with over 9.59 seconds lead. So that's almost a 20-second lead on the averages.
On the averages.
That's just going to be on a, well, if they complete all their runs, of course, because we saw so many not complete their runs. Now, if the results stay as they are right now, bar that one is a slight different one. The results are in 9th place, Sudden Impact, who have only just qualified, remember, for the Elite with 14 points.
Yeah, Chill Winston. I mean, wouldn't that be interesting? 2 competitions in, Chill Winston would be sitting in 8th place, but they would have 19 points out of 2 competitions.
And they're chasing Pocket Rocket then, who are in 7th place with 23 points.
Yeah, and just above them, Bored Senseless, 27 points.
Then you've got Mad Atters in 5th with 30 points.
And 4th place, Consider It Done on 33 points.
4th place for a traditional Gypsy Club. These are predicted if today doesn't change. So just remember that. If today doesn't change...
Sound like the referendum. This is an exit poll.
Yeah, we're just trying to make sure that you haven't just joined us late and you think these are the actual results and on your way down to the bookie to collect your winnings.
Yeah.
But, the long shot would have been Consider It Done, but Consider It Done are in there at 4th place with 33 points. They've got to hold off Bored Senseless, basically, or actually on 26. I know from the other thing that's just a missed thing there. So that's really good. But with a 10-point lead on them, we've got UK Border Force with 43.
And then in 2nd place, if it stays as it is, will be Drag Act on 46 points.
But most interestingly, of course, because Dead Pigeons won't have scored this weekend, it will mean that Dead Pigeons will be in 1st place, but by only 4 points. That means they've lost 3 points in this case of 1 round, which now all of a sudden Drag Act are chasing them.
Absolutely.
And UK Border Force, unfortunately, just because they didn't complete a run yesterday morning, this could change. Yesterday morning's heat could probably be the pinnacle, the tipping point of the season.
Moreover, yesterday afternoon's rain. That really was, where it cut off, because the Pigeons and UK Border Force, they were sitting there thinking, well, we've still got 3 more runs. We can do this. We'll get a run down. It'll be absolutely fine. We'll go into tomorrow and we'll finish where we usually finish.
Yeah,
that didn't happen. So it has opened up the season, and another bad heat somewhere else along the line, and that could be it. That you could be seeing a new national champion.
Yeah, exactly. The game is all about consistency, and of course they've still got to stay consistent today. The top teams, or the teams that didn't complete, have to complete, and the teams that did complete still have to complete. And if they don't, the whole table could be turned on its head again. So get in the cars, get down here. It's going to be wet and muddy and wild, I think, in the arena today. The weather's pretty good, so it is drying up, but it will be more of a wet horseboarding competition than a dry one. And we'll look forward to seeing you here at Hull Park Gardens in Kent.